Hello.
Hello.
You're gonna have to speak up a little bit.
Hello.
Who do we have the pleasure of speaking with?
My name is Nicholas. Everybody calls me Shaggy. I'm from Baltimore, born and raised. I've been homeless for about the last 9 years. I just turned 30 about 2 weeks ago. So I've basically spent my entire 20s um, being homeless on the streets of Baltimore, West Baltimore specifically. Um, I ran into my friend here in one of the not so nice areas that I frequent, um, and he asked me, if I would share a little bit of my story. I agreed to it because I think that I have a testimony, and that you know I like to think that I could help somebody by sharing what I've been through, in my life. So
What led to you being homeless 9 years ago?
okay, so what really what really pushed me over the edge as far as my drug addiction goes is when my father passed away. I never met my mother. She left when I was an infant, so I was raised by my father. Um, Never had a stepmom or none of that in my life. My dad would mess with prostitutes, on occasion, and but that was about it. So, you know, growing up, I had a kind of a resentment towards women, but I've gotten over that. But as far as me becoming homeless, I started doing drugs when I was about 14. The first time I ever did drugs, my father gave them to me. Not intending on, getting me high or anything, but I had fallen and hurt my ankle, so he had given me a pain pill to help with the pain. Well, when I took it, I basically loved the way that it felt, and wanted to continue to feel that way. So throughout my teens, I progressed, in my, in the drug life, and was mostly just taking pills, different pills, pain pills, anxiety medication, sleep medication, and a lot of different pills. So when I was about 18, I was probably at my worst as far as my pill habit. I was spending anywhere from $100 to $300 a day on pills. I was selling weed at the time, and that's how I supported that habit. And my dad found out at the time he had cancer, and so when he found out he had cancer, he was already stage 4, and stage 4 is like pretty much like a done deal, apparently. The doctors told him that he could still try fighting it if he chose to by doing either chemo or radiation, one of them. But so he did that, and when he did that, he lost all his weight, lost all his hair. So growing up, my dad was always a strong man. He was 6'3" and probably 220 pounds or so. A big man, and So when he lost all his weight and all his hair, and he was smaller than me, he was, maybe 90 pounds. It started getting to me. So my drug abuse started getting, real bad, to the point to where I was starting to spend more money than I was making. I started, missing payments on the rent, because at this time I was paying the rent for me and my father because he could no longer work. Before I knew it, I got a call from my uncle, and he said my dad was gone. So when I heard that, I had a decent amount of money saved up, from my little business I had going on, and I started just indulging nonstop. I mean, to the point to where I couldn't remember what I did that day. I didn't want to feel, the emotions that came with my father passing. And by me doing that, of course, I started running out of money. The pills became too expensive, so I started messing with stronger street drugs like heroin. So heroin and Xanax at the time. And I missed the rent enough times that the landlord said I had to go, and so I went and moved in with my girlfriend. Well, I was living there for a while, and me and her were both in active addiction, and her mom was an addict as well. So I think that her mom wasn't paying the rent there, and long story short, they lost that place, and her mom sent the kids to go stay with her grandparents, and I forget where her mom went, but regardless, I couldn't come, and so I told my girl to go, with her mom, because I didn't want her to be, out on the streets with me. And I went and started staying outside, and every now and again I would stay at somebody's house, or I was sleeping in my buddy's mom's car for a little bit, just here and there. And that's when I was about, I would say 20 or so, and it just progressed, and it got to the point to where I didn't have no money. Every day I would wake up, broke, and I started panhandling. That's what this is a sign I use to panhandle, because that's how I'm making my money right now. I'm kind of just living day to day right now. I don't know how the day is going to go when I wake up. All I know is that I'm going to make some kind of money, and I'm going to spend it on drugs, and I'm going to repeat the process again and again until eventually I pass out on the ground somewhere.
Do you have any siblings?
I have no siblings. I have, my grandparents are all dead. My uncles are all dead. All I have right now is some cousins, and I don't talk to them barely ever. I have like one cousin who I try to keep in touch with, but so basically I really don't have a family.
To your cousins that are still with us, do they know where you are?
No.
Do you know where they are?
I know they're okay.
When your dad first passed away, your uncle that called you and told you that he passed away, why didn't you go stay with him?
he didn't want me to come see. Uh, Not sure why exactly. I had never stolen or from them, or it was just. I never really asked either, but my family's always been not so much of a loving, like welcoming type of family. Like basically everybody in my family is addicts. Um, they all deal with depression. Um, you know, a lot of mental health going on there. As far as my family goes, so
Did your dad do drugs?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Recreation?
He was the first. Yeah, he like I said, he was the first one to give me a pain pill. He was on pain pills because he had got surgery on his neck or something, but he was abusing them though. He wasn't taking them like he was supposed to. He was, abusing them. So since I was young, I seen my dad. There's not many drugs he didn't do throughout my life. He was smoking crack. He always smoked weed. He smoked weed up until the day he died. For a while he did heroin, um, pills, drinking, you name it. He was just an addict.
Were you conscious of that as a child? Like, I guess seeing your dad do that?
To an extent, I knew that he was doing something that he really loved to do because, I didn't know a whole lot about it, but I did know that, because of him doing these things, I had to go stay with somebody else, and, he couldn't really afford much because that's where his money went. So I almost felt like, he must love that more than he loves me. So, that's growing up, I'm like, there must be something in that, you know what I mean? Like, what are they all seeing? What's so great about it? That's how they all dealt with their emotions, and that's how they dealt with anxiety and depression and these types of things. So growing up, I thought that was normal. That I was already it was already instilled in me. Like I was born an addict. I think genetically and mentally, I was raised to be an addict.
Have you ever met your mom's side of the family?
No, I never met my mom. I found out she died like last year or something like that. I never got a chance to meet her.
So you don't know whether or not you have siblings from her?
I do have she has a daughter, so technically I have like a half sister. But I haven't seen her since I was like 2 or 3 years old, so I do want to meet her eventually.
Do you have any kids?
No.
Do you want kids?
Yeah.
Do you really think that addiction is genetic?
Yeah.
Just based off of your life?
Well, okay, so my cousins were born with what they call a fetal alcohol deficiency, and that's because their mom was an alcoholic throughout the pregnancy. So they were born, basically like addicted to alcohol. So when my cousin was, I would say, 3, maybe even 2 years old, when they would have a party or a get together or whatever, he would take the beers off the table and go hide and drink the beers. And he liked it. I'm 30 and I can't stand the way beer tastes. You know what I mean? But I think that genetically he had that taste for alcohol.
In the last 16 years since you first started taking drugs, what's the longest time you've been drug free?
I think it was like about 50 days or so, but almost to about 2 months. About 2 months.
What inspired that?
Just just tired, kind of getting tired of, you know, the same shit over and over and over. Um, you know, just being tired of, knowing that it don't matter how much money I make, that my money's already spent before I get it. I don't. It almost feels like I don't have a choice. I mean, I haven't eaten in 3 days.
Does all your money go towards drugs?
Yeah.
So if you had your last $5 and it was between food and drugs, it'll go towards drugs?
No question.
Why?
Because it's become second nature.
How long ago was it that you was clean for that 50 days?
Not that long ago, this year. Earlier this year, I was at what month was it? It was February until about April.
What made you relapse?
That time, I was in a program. I was doing really good. They put me out of nowhere one day. Kind of blindsided me a little bit. They said their reason for putting me out was that I was not paying attention in group, which wasn't true, but whatever. Their word against mine, and they put me out. So when they put me out, that in itself was already very discouraging to me, because I'm trying something new, trying to do something I don't know how to do, and it is totally foreign to me and hard for me. So when you feel as though you've just been kicked to the curb, and it didn't matter how hard you were trying, it wasn't hard enough, and it doesn't matter, then what else, would be your first instinct to do besides going back to what you're used to, the only thing the only thing that at least it seems that way, that it works for you. I know that if I panhandle, I'm going to get money, and if I get drugs, I'll be satisfied, even though it's temporary satisfaction. I barely get high anymore. I've become immune to the drugs. I chase after the satisfaction of knowing that I strived for it, so now I got what I want, and it's stupid, really.
What drugs are you currently taking?
Cocaine, fentanyl.
Are you scared of the drugs that you get?
No, I'm scared of not getting the drugs.
Is it dangerous out here?
Definitely.
How dangerous?
It's dangerous as you make it for yourself.
Have you ever been a victim of violence? Was it unprovoked?
Yes.
Did you get any justice?
Not my kind of justice.
What do you mean?
Basically, like, what I mean by that is, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth type of thing. You know what I mean? So, if I got justice to me, would be doing what they did to me back to them. That would be justice. Sure. So that's why I said that.
What actually happened to you?
I mean, I've been jumped. I've been attacked in my sleep. I've been robbed. I've been hit by a car. I've been stabbed. I've been
How do you stay safe?
pray.
What do you think is more dangerous, the drugs or the environment?
That's a good question. I don't know. That's a good question. They're both dangerous. You know, I can't really say one's more dangerous than the other because they're both very dangerous.
Have you ever overdosed?
Yeah.
When's the last time you overdosed?
Last time I overdosed was say like 9 months ago or so.
Were you alone?
Was I alone this last time? No. I think actually I was at work at the time. I was working.
Had you been alone, do you think you would have survived?
I like to think so.
Are you ever thinking about you may potentially go out off of the drugs that you buy and not recover?
Nah, I don't think like that.
How do you take the drugs that you take?
However I can get on him. And I used to shoot. I used to inject. I stopped injecting for personal reasons, and so I just basically sniff my drugs and I smoke my drugs.
Have you ever heard of xylazine?
Yeah.
Do you think it may be in the drugs that are out here?
Yeah.
Have you ever had drugs that may have had it in it?
Yeah.
How do you know?
To be honest, I don't know. I think, I don't know for sure. But it's a tranquilizer, you know. So, you know, how you can probably imagine how a tranquilizer would make you feel. So, you know, basically that's how I, you know, would.
If you went somewhere and they said that they had that specifically, would you still buy it and use it?
Just that?
Or that was mixed in whatever else I guess they were trying to sell you?
If it was mixed with the fentanyl, then yeah. Because the fentanyl, I have a chemical dependence on the fentanyl, so I get physically sick without it. So I have to have the fentanyl. But if it has the xylazine with it, to be honest with you, the stuff that I've been doing, the stuff that I did today, has xylazine in it.
And how do you know that specifically?
I've just been doing it long enough that I can tell.
Have you ever introduced anybody to drugs?
I don't think so.
Would you?
No.
Why not?
Because there's no good that comes from it at all. There's no possible positive outcome at all, ever, that will come from introducing somebody to drugs.
Do you think there's a such thing as a functioning addict?
there's people that are deeper in the grips of addiction than others, but as far as a functioning addict, might be a person that can do drugs and still function, but a functioning addict, no.
Would you consider yourself to be an addict?
I'm an addict of the worst kind.
Do you ever see yourself getting clean again?
Yeah.
What's it gonna take?
It's gonna take me going, checking into a treatment center. It's not complicated. I just complicate it for myself. They say about the Narcotics Anonymous program is a simple program for complicated people. That's definitely true.
If a car were to pull up right now and told you, Shaggy, jump in it and take you somewhere to get all the help that you needed, would you leave?
No, because I still got drugs to do and money to spend.
What do you think a bigger problem is in Baltimore right now? Homelessness or substance abuse?
Substance abuse. If there wasn't any substance abuse, there would be a fraction of the homelessness. If they took care of mental health and substance abuse, there would be no homelessness.
Do you think you suffer from mental health issues?
Yeah.
Do you think it's because of your long-term drug use?
No. The long-term drug use is my way of self-medicating my, mental health disorder, my anxiety, my depression, my insomnia, shit like that.
Going back to your 14-year-old self, because no one knows Shaggy like Shaggy knows Shaggy.
Yeah.
What would you have told yourself to make you never use drugs a day in your life?
Get the hell out of Baltimore.
If you could say something to someone right now to inspire them to be the best them they could be, what would you tell them?
Tell them that, you can do whatever you put your mind to. But whatever that is, whatever you do, be the best to ever do it.
And with that being said, we want to thank you for your time. We want to thank you for your honesty. And most importantly, we want to thank you for your story. Praying for you, Shaggy.